Side of the map. Our blue Protoss player, this is going to be MaxPax. And he takes on the other side of things here, the blue Zerg. We have ourselves a rogue. Game number 1, best of 3 action. Who will be continuing through to the winner bracket semi-finals with a win here today. Rogue has looked okay in ZVP at points, but there's also been a lot of moments where we're kind of left wondering what Rogue is trying to get done. Inconsistency is definitely an issue for Rogue so far in this, I guess, and honestly all of his matchups in his current form, inconsistency is definitely a factor. So, yeah, we'll have to see if he can figure that out today, because against MaxPax, there's not really much room for error. You can't really make mistakes against MaxPax, right? So, gonna have to be absolutely on point. As, yeah, any damage taken early, he's gonna take advantage of. He's gonna punish you for taking it initially. You just can't make mistakes here, so this is gonna be an all-out investment. It's going to be seen now our Hatchgasm pool coming online again, the spawning pool finishing shortly, the Cyber Core coming in, the Nexus coming through. Two Queens, 4 Lings just continue to come up, as you have our probe just moving out onto the map, just pulling away for the moment. Again, a couple of Queens, the Lings and the drones all continuing into play. Getting this settled for now. First Adept on the way up, as MaxPax gets ready to obviously take some control of the map as well. Try and get across the other side and see a little bit of what's going on. And we've seen again the Wolf Gate coming up, the Adept is on the way, our Stargate is coming through with a couple of probies on the way up as well. And bringing them out to the other side. Overlord's still just going to be chilling here for a couple of moments as well. It's just going to be hanging about for a little while. As we do have our Stargate and our Hatchery continue to come in. The single Adept still making its way down to the bottom. Queen is going to be there and dealing some damage as well. Would love to try and get something extra done there as the Adepts are just going to go and, again, threaten around, shade around, see if there's any opportunities in the early stages. See, so far the answer is not really. Couple Lings is going to go jumping onto the probes, and the first probe going to go down. Now Lings on the ramp as well. Probes there. Going to be looking to take some damage as well. So again, a few shots continue to come about. Probes continue to drop for now. Again, Queen, the Lings, the drones, the Hatchery, all coming through. It's going to be seen our Warp Gate and the Oracle coming about also. And a few Lings getting there. Going to pick off the Adept over in the corner. So that Adept will also fall. Another nice catch. Back into the main base, Oracle just flying by, Queen's gonna put some damage out. Gonna be seeing the Oracle taking some more shots as well. Well, actually going to get huge damage on. There's going to be 5-6 drones already dropping, make it 7. Huge damage off the Oracle right away. Man, we didn't even need to get to the point of Adepts, which a lot of people were predicting, to start seeing some serious damage being done. Well, that's already Rogue hurting, and that's already Rogue going to be in those tough spots that we're talking about. You can't end up in these situations against MaxPax. You're going to have a bad time. And it's just going to have a... Overlord getting pushed back again. Twilight Council and Forge both continue to come up. The Nexus is going to finish very soon as well. Stalker just going to get there. The Overlord will go down. Oracle activating and getting a couple of additional drones. Just going to be able to grab those also. And again, Twilight Council and Forge from MaxPax both coming up back at home. going to get those completed, and that follow-up is going to be ready to set off. I mean, of course, with the damage done early, going to be looking pretty darn good. A couple gates coming up as well. Probes coming in. You actually have a lab building from Rogue as well right now. 6 additional drones going along with that here currently. Going to be seeing the Adepts going to go shading forward. Going to try and get forwards and see what it is that they might be able to achieve. Just going to be seeing the attempt into this mineral line, and a few more Lings going down. Drone's going to continue to be in some trouble. Lings continue to just get jumped on, and honestly taking quite a lot of shots here currently. And we're just going to be seeing those drones continue to drop down. The Lings pulling in for a lot of damage there. 11 additional drones continuing to come up. And Rogue is just having to replace these workers consistently. Problem is, if you're always rebuilding workers, you know, actually getting a chance to build your army is going to struggle, and then there is very possibly going to be a timing window that could come around eventually as well. So we will wait and see how that goes, as we just have a couple of oracles move about. The Lings get chased away. Infestation pit still coming up on the side of Rogue as well. The Hydralisk den halfway done. So he's trying to tech into the later game. I mean, this is a large map. There's a world in which maybe you don't quite manage to end this as MaxPax, just because it does take you a while to get to the other side. Although I don't see a way that Rogue gets away with the 4th base. I think the 4th hatchery is probably guaranteed to die on this charge Archon attack, which we're going to be seeing in probably just a few moments' time. So kind of expecting that to come around. We do have the Overseer flying in overhead. It's just going to come straight through and fly through the top of that main base. Extra gates coming online. Charging +1 coming up. Archons and Zealots still building. The Oracles will gather with the rest of these units as well. A few Hammer Hydras coming out as well. +1 missiles and the muscular augments of the Hydra speed coming online. Stalker Zealot just going to get rid of a Creep Tumor. And yeah, that thing just going to continue to chase down that probe for a little bit as well. Extra Zealots warping in right now. Creep Tumor's getting knocked the heck out of here, and let's see if Rogue can find a defense. He's building Hydras, but the problem is it's only Hydras. Obviously, Hydras on their own are very susceptible to attack. They will take a lot of damage if you're not babysitting them. For now, it's okay-ish, but the Archons are going to turn back around. Obviously, the Queen's doing a lot of the tanking here, but you're also losing your Queens. It's not exactly something you want to be losing, but the Archon goes down. MaxPax is Prism just not there anymore, just way too far back. Could have been a bit further forward and could have picked up that Archon, but a little bit lazy, arguably, on the micro. Like I say, if that Prism had stepped forward instead of just being back there to warp in a safe place, then you could have had more out of this. But that's a really good example of just effort versus reward in StarCraft 2. You put in the effort to, you know, keep the Prism alive and warp in more actively, and you can also maybe save a couple of units because your Prism's in the right place. Instead, he sieges the Prism a bit further back. It's a little bit of a lazier play. It's much safer, but obviously then you're not in position to save that Archon, so pluses and minuses. I mean, like I say, it's just a choice that you make, as we do have the Prism coming back over that right-hand side. Just having that Overlord speed, +2 missiles coming up. Whoa, the Oracles go down, so goodbye, Oracles. That's actually kind of a noteworthy little kill. Alright, a couple Oracles getting knocked out of here. The Ling Hydra coming back down the bottom. Overseer still overhead. Hydras continue to be on the move currently. And again, that extended thermal lance on the way up. +2 attack, blink, Colossus and Gateways all building in right now. Just going to be seeing our Lings trying to wrap around that Zealot as well. Look, then is about to finish from Rogue, so getting that completed in the next few moments. Again, +2 missiles and adrenal glands continue to come out here. It's going to be having ourselves the force fields coming in as MaxPax is on the map, and maybe with an army that shouldn't be on the map against this many Hydras, he could probably do with a little bit more splash. The next Colossus is out of position. It's just going to come around now. Okay, 2 Colossus lasering these Hydras, and maybe the Hydras are the ones that need to stop and think about what they're trying to do. We've seen our sizing spans coming up, +2 missiles, and the adrenal glands coming in. Again, MaxPax is very happy to play the later stages of this game. 2 more Stargates building up. The Fleet Beacon is about to finish. And we've seen our Ling Hydra Lurker continuing up through the center of the map. Well, with that Lurker range being online, The adrenal glands coming in. It's all looking decent. Spire's coming up. A few overlords coming about. Our Hydra's going to jump onto the battery here immediately. The few Lings jumping onto the cannon as well. So just a little bit more being done. Gonna recall a bunch of units back over this direction. The Hydra's going to start getting chased away. The Zealot's charging forward. Lurker's going to get picked away at. I mean, Lurker's getting burrowed is scary, but can the Colossus deal with these from afar? It's going to be a little bit difficult, right? As the Lurkers continue to get their siege up. The Tempests are not ready yet, so that attack into the air is not quite on time. Could have been a little bit sooner to help out. The Zealots are going to get busy. That Queen is going to go down. We've still got the rest of these Lurkers continuing to step forward for the moment. Storm coming too. MaxPax so close to so many things that are going to make this game so much better for him, but that's just a credit to this timing attack of Rogue, with these Lurkers getting across the map ASAP, especially off of a weakened economy that he was facing throughout the earlier stages of the game. So I see a couple of laser beams firing up. The Lurker's taking some extra shots. So it's trying to come around that bottom side, not going to get very far. The Lurker's still hitting. And the Tempest firing up a few shots as well. Once the Colossus will get rid of a Hydralisk. A few Hydras there actually stepping forward. Going to end up in a little bit of trouble as well, so that's going to be painful. Two more spines, a couple of extractors still coming out. The Tempest continue to put some damage out onto those Lurkers for the moment. As just see the Archons coming through. The Storm's dropping down. Just going to be seeing the Hydra's going to have to retreat on out of there. Still have more Tempest shots coming through. And we actually have Zealots walking in en masse on the right-hand side. Ready to bring those around and maybe loop around the back here and jump onto this Hydra Lurker force. Obviously, this is going to be a attack on this base, and that base is likely going to drop. I mean, you have so many Tempests and Colossus that, yes, we lose this base. Is this really the end of the world? Are we missing detection right now? We've not hit those Lurkers. We've not hit the Lurkers for a little while. We're missing detection, aren't we? No Observer on the map, no Oracle on the map. MaxPax build something so you can actually see the Lurkers, and I actually think this is going to be okay for you. Obviously, he's going to potentially lose a lot of those probes. The Hydras go chasing down. The few Zealots won't really protect them. He's now supply blocked, so he still can't get any detection on the map. Losing those two Oracles early when the Hydras grabbed those, that was way more impactful than we maybe made a note of at the point in time. There's an Observer finally coming up, but yeah, MaxPax not able to hit those Lurkers for so long is so painful. Because he could have cleaned up so many of them. Like, you could not have ran away there with all of these Lurkers. I mean, they should have all died for how long they were there for. So, Rogue getting rid of that detection is absolutely huge and is absolutely impactful in the biggest of ways. Lurker moves around a little bit, a couple of Lurker shots still firing. Tempest turn back onto and kill off a Lurker as well. Means we have more Lings and Corruptors continuing to come online. So bringing all of that up with the +1 fly attack on the way. +3 missiles is starting up as well on the side of Rogue. Lurkers are going to burrow. Here come the Corruptors. It's going to start flying through. First Storm coming down onto a bunch of those Corruptors. A lot of damage being done. The Immortals continue to pull backward here. We are going to be seeing the Corruptors. Obviously good to knock down the Tempest. And then should be very good to get rid of the Colossus as well. There's not a lot of anti-air. These Corruptors in great numbers. And MaxPax just has to say GG. This game has gone too far gone for him. And he is going to take a loss in the first game. Rogue is going to open with... I think MaxPax might go a little bit harder on trying to pressure early just because he sees, okay, that's kind of scary if you get up to Lurkers. Up left corner of the map. Down a map. It's going to be our Blue Protoss player, MaxPax. Up against the red Zerg in the bottom left-hand side of Amphion. It is going to be a Rogue. Game 2 of our best of 3. As we set up and look to see what exactly is going to be the plan and how things are going to turn out. Well, Dronies just mining away cozily for the moment over on the side. Is Rogue the only Zerg left? No. Dark is in this bracket. And Shin is in the lower bracket as well. I mean, no one got eliminated yesterday. This is a double elimination tournament just straight up from the very get-go, so... Shin is in the lower bracket. He'll be playing later today. Dark will be taking on Gumiho later today in the ZVT. That's our 4th series of the day, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we got a few Zerg. I mean, there wasn't a lot of Zergs coming in. Only 3 out of 16 players were Zerg, but we still have some of them in the winners bracket. Yeah, double elimination means that we are going to have a few days of this event still to come, guys. Today, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This event wraps up on Saturday. We'll be doing something else. We'll be covering something else on Sunday for you guys. There's that probe initially here, just poking around some mineral lines. Kinda just the expectation, right? Nothing really too crazy about that at all. As our Nexus comes up, +1 attack comes through, Assimilator's on the way. Also going to be seeing our probe escaping out to the top side. A couple of drones continuing to cross. And we just get moving around for a few moments there. The Lings move over. The probe just continues to pull out of there a little bit as well. It's just going to get away for now. Again, the Stargate will continue up on the side of MaxPax. The next is still finishing. And that Adept from MaxPax is just going to shade out down to the bottom side of the map. So Adept is going to be on the move as well. Probe going to return some minerals into the natural nexus. Is it a LAN tournament because China has stated as the location? No, it's online. I don't know why it's stated as China as the location, but it is held by or organized by Chinese community members, so maybe they take it as that. I imagine it should just say online though. Unless some of the Chinese players are playing offline, I just don't. It's not that big of an event, so yeah, it's all online. I think that's actually just fairly safe to say from the get-go, to be honest. No probe's gonna fight. Oracle moving through as we just have ourselves the Stalker gonna grab El Zergling at the front. The Oracle still coming up over there. The warp gate continues by. A couple of probies on the way up as well. I'm just gonna be seeing this Oracle continuing down to the bottom left-hand side of the map. Link speed coming up. Our extra drones finishing. Our Spore Crawl is gonna be done soon as well. Rogue never got back to top player form since he got back from the military. Well, I mean, he's only been back, what, like 4 or 5 months? He can take games off the top guys, but yeah, I mean, it takes longer than that to really reach maximum potential. He's only played in a couple of big events, and in the big events, he's honestly done pretty well for himself, I would say, as well. Oracle's going to loop back around to the center. Link speed coming up. Overlord's on the way in. Lair and a few additional drones coming about. I'm just going to see these Oracles activating. Going to get 4 drones. Queen and the Spores just going to be there to push the Oracles back a little bit too. Drones, Lings, all coming in. Twilight Council and the Forge coming by. Again, MaxPax is able to find some early workers, but it's not a super crazy number. Not a big event, but it's billed as the Big LiuLu Cup. Alright. Look, it's bigger than the usual LiuLi events, right? It's just so, but it's not a big event. It's not, this ain't no Katowice, you know? This ain't no DreamHack. +1 blink coming through, a few gateways and a probe or 2 coming up as well. +1 melee continues in production. And our 5 drones and a couple of extractors. In fact, make that 3 extractors on the way up from Rogue. He's going to take every gas available to him, so he's going to get all of the gases going. Well, all of the Lings, I mean, kind of smells like a little bit of a Spire play, potentially. What else are we going to use those gases for? Hydrogen just goes down, okay. It's going to go Hydrogen, just I guess into Ling Bane Hydra. I guess if it was going to be Spire, you'd want to start the Spire up ASAP once the lair finishes, but I thought something might come of this. Just going to see a few drones going down again. This is now what? 9 drones dead in the game, 6 minutes deep. MaxPax is definitely able to find the early damage here. It's the kind of follow-ups to that that's remaining in question as this Stalker pushes the drone back over the side. Oracle will show up to kill that as well. So this drone just trying to mine out those minerals and open up a path into MaxPax's natural will not be allowed. Extra Stalkers warping in, the +1 blink continue to come by as well, so we bring that up into play. We do have the Observer coming up, the Robo-Bay on the way through. Oracle's activating for 4 more drones. And this is MaxPax just bullying Rogue's economy early, which is exactly how it happened last time, and then MaxPax slipped up a little bit on some of his attacks. I don't know if he was expecting as many Hydras as there were, and he kind of just attacked in way more aggressively than he should have been. Even the first attacks were fine. It was the next attacks where he was kind of getting chased back across the map so suddenly that he kind of really ended up in a tough position in. Oracle will activate a couple of creep tumors, sorry, a couple of lings, continuing to go down. So because we'll just grab a creep tumor, so it's going to get rid of that. Just going to see the rest of these oracles setting up as well. Also, it's going to fight a couple queens starting to go down. The Hydra's coming back up. The oracle getting a stasis ward off on a single ling. Now a few more lings going down. The stalkers will continue to blink around here as we do move one way then the other. Extra Hydra's coming up. The hive coming through. And Musca augments and the lurker den coming up as we speak. All of that being brought into play right now as a couple more overlords coming out as well. Well, the Hydras definitely do make a bit of a stand for themselves, right? It's difficult to push aggressively into so many of these without splash damage. And that's what MaxPax is heading toward once again, those Colossus. But Rogue taking this as a chance to just say, cool, I just get to go straight to the Lurker Den. He's doing this just without the Bane Nest, right? And that's the difference. He's not wasted any money on a Bane Nest or Banes. He's just focused on Mass Hydra. And because MaxPax has not rushed into splash damage, he's likely to get away with it as well. Obviously, we'll see if he can successfully complete his step towards the Lurker Den and Lurkers this time. But I don't imagine MaxPax gets as aggressive this time around. He's also playing Blink Stalkers, which are able to kind of fight while getting away alive more easily than the Zealots and the Archons initially from last game. So, a few different things to look at, a few things that have changed up. Temple Archives coming down, as I imagine Storm is going to become a priority here pretty early on as well. Get that going. It's going to be seeing the Lings and the Hydra still chasing Stalkers back up the left-hand side. Couple simulators coming through. And then more Lurkers coming up, plus one missile, Seismic Splines, the extra Hydras and Lings all continue to produce. Creep Teamers are on the way in. As our Lings going to try and jump onto this army now a little bit. Colossus firing up some laser beams, and a lot of those Lings do begin to go down during that as the Lurkers siege up around the right-hand side. An extra Lurkers coming up, the Hydralisk is coming through. Seismic Spines coming in as well. Obviously overhead setting up, just going to be seeing those Lurkers firing up some shots, Stalkers, Colossus, the Zealots. Taking some pretty major damage already, the Hydra stepping up as well. Lurkers now burrowing, also getting set to push that back as well. As we continue to see, well again, the +3 attack and the Storm now coming into play. So bringing those all through, the couple of Immortals continue by. This army still looking to press forwards here from MaxPax. A very different vibe this game where MaxPax is able to control the map because he's never been pushed back away from these positions. Rogue has never been able to push across the map himself, and that gives MaxPax so much more time to set up into Storm. Extended Thermal Lance is on the way. Kind of surprised that that wasn't started earlier, actually. But you see what I mean, right? The difference is Rogue was sieged on MaxPax's bases at this point of the last game. Now MaxPax, he might not be sieged on the basis of Rogue, but he's keeping Rogue from moving out. Keeping Rogue at home is definitely seen as a win right now. Lings up that right-hand side. Storm's about to finish. Extended Thermal Lens and the +3 attack come through as well. Lings actually going to end up running into that third base. The Lurker's in position. And again, Colossus and Archon's getting turned around. Lings going to start to move straight through here. Super Battery activates onto the cannon. Get rid of the Robo. Lings moving up in toward the natural. Best Lurker already taking quite a few shots, and now going to have the Spire. That's the next step from Rogue. The Fleet Beacon's coming up, so the Spire is correct. Get some Corruptors available, will help against Colossus, but also against the future Tempests. Going to be quite notable there as well, so things to definitely think on. $14 additional Lurkers coming up. MaxPax. Of course, Lurkers are manageable as long as you can get rid of the bulk that comes with the Lurkers, and that's what the Storm will be very good at. Getting rid of the Ling and Hydra that will kind of sit in front and charge into your army while the Lurkers try and take position. The sooner you work through that, the sooner you can, then focus onto the Lurkers. As Rogue has a knight that's coming up in the main base, and I'm not sure MaxPax is noticing this at all. He's making no indication that he has noticed that that is on the way up. So that's not looking too pretty. As Lurker the Lurkers pop out of that Nidus, and this is bad. Nidus in your main base is never going to be fun. We recall a bunch of units back over here. I mean, High Templars are going to be in range of the Lurkers, although the Lurkers don't shoot at them initially. And these Lurkers are going to get taken down. Worthwhile? Question mark. There's a couple of High Templars that were low. It would have been nice to see those actually just get finished off. Just going to see a little bit of revelation to the side. Picks off that final Lurker. So Rogue actually loses a lot. He's going to try and move around and take advantage in other ways now. As we move around. Link's still moving up. Zealot's going to be there. 6 more drones on the way through. The extra Zealots in production. Warping in. Rogue is starting to take positions, but like I said, his actual army size is not looking too hot, and it's going to be an issue. Like, positions with Lurkers are great, but if your opponent can actually find a way to fight into those, then that doesn't really matter. He didn't actually get what I thought he would with these Lurkers. I thought we'd be on this high ground and getting rid of that base at the very least, but that ain't happening either. And Rogue only has 68 drones, so it's not like he has a monster economy behind this to kind of keep him afloat. He is somewhat trailing in that regard. As the Lynx try and run up, the Colossus are going to put some lasers out. The Lurker's putting some work in. Tempest getting turned around once again as the tank corruptors come through. Adrenal Glance +2 melee. All those corruptors coming out as the Lurkers will continue to just go after those probes. 14 workers going down already. Some serious damage being done. Mothership going to join up with the rest of this army overhead, stepping forwards. See that Lurker gets grabbed also. Let's do air weapons, so I'm just going to be seeing MaxPax with even more upgrades in the skies. Help him in the right direction. Let's look at carriers, cannons, battery, assimilators continue to come through. The rest of this army from MaxPax around the right. Turn back around, getting a changeling. Gonna grab a queen there as well, so just gonna nab that as we do see the corruptors and lings coming through. The Tempest gonna fire up. Lurker's taking damage still. 2 shots coming down. Zealots are still being knocked away at. It's gonna be having extra lings being picked off as well. Corruptors continue to come over. Big storm into those corruptors in the skies. We're just gonna see them diving through the Tempests. They get grabbed as Rogue tries to make an attempt here to knock down this army of MaxPax. So many Lurkers just not in the fight currently, but hey, we are going to get rid of anything that the Corruptors can shoot, so that's a bonus. It's just the fact that that ground army is going to get out alive. Now the question will be, what do you do with these Corruptors? Rogue actually did very well there, but these Corruptors have to start pulling their weight. They have to get across this map in caustic spray. We're actually going to give the Corruptors something to do as carriers started up. I was going to say, I think that's crazy from MaxPax. That's a huge amount of investment against someone that already has a big answer to what you're building. Goes into a Tempest now. He walked in 10 Stalkers instead after cancelling the carriers. I feel like he's a little bit stuck as to what exactly he should build against this current army of Rogue. We're going to turn around here. Those carriers are going to get knocked down. Was he actually already building the carriers? He started up 3, so he already had 2 popping, and then he started up 3 more, and then realized, I think, that just was not the play. He's going to dive into this main base now. Going to go after the Stargate Nexus, a pylon that powers a lot of these gateways. It's not worth it with the Stalkers coming underneath. I mean, Corruptors would be nice to keep alive, because if your opponent is building off that Stargate, there is going to be some role for these Corruptors given a little bit of time. Corruptors move off. The Archon's coming through. Just going to be seeing our Observer coming by. The couple of Probies and the Assimilator continue by as well at the moment. Just getting all of that underway. Will Burrow is going to see a couple storms coming through there immediately. Is just going to be seeing those Lurkers continue to come about. Actually going to come hunting forwards. The Hydralisk's going to move around as well. With a storm coming in. Rogue supply does not look pretty here. It does seem as though MaxPax should have enough to get the job done here on Amphion. Best series of the day. Looking as though it might be a 3-game banger. As MaxPax is well, maxed. He's maxed packs right now. And Rogue is just struggling at 160. I mean, he never really got enough economy back online. Just needed to do more with those lurkers when he was aggressive in all those different positions. That was his moment. That was his timing window. That was his chance, and he just let it slip away, right? He just did not grab a hold of it with both hands and run away with it. He's trying to do some cute abducts and stuff now, but we've got Stalkers killing off a hatchery on the right-hand side as well. MaxPax has just been fairly cautious about this, but I think we can all see exactly where this is going, as MaxPax really does just have a lot more. He's got money in the bank. His upgrades are absolutely banging as well. And continues to pressure around. It's just going to be slow going because you don't want to dive headfirst into all those lurkers. Lurkers burrow up. Just going to be seeing the Immortal Archon getting shoved away a little further again. And just getting pushed backward here as we just have ourselves the +3 flyer attack and the +1 ground armor coming up as well. So just getting all of that on the go where possible. And grab ourselves another lurker right there. So it's going to be another grab. Get rid of the changelings. You continue to step forward. Just going to use the Tempest to hit some shots. Corruptor's really getting very far forward there, trying to get involved. Stalker's hitting, a couple of those Overlords going down. Also just going to be able to grab that. Some more Storms coming down again. Lings, Lurkers and Corruptors gathering. Just going to be seeing the Immortals. Going to take damage here as well. MaxPax is just obviously going to have way too much on this one. GG's. We will go all three in one final game to decide who gets to be in the winner bracket round of 4 and who is going to get knocked down to that lower bracket. We'll talk about who plays who potentially in the lower bracket later today when we get into the lower bracket round 1 matches. By then the upper bracket will be played out and we'll actually know which of the upper bracket players are down in that lower bracket round 2. So we'll kind of know what those matches are setting up to be. So we'll, like I say, be talking a bit about that one later on. Bottom left, our blue Protoss player here is MaxPax as we enter Alcyone, with the top right red Zerg being the wonderful Rogue. He's providing some pretty entertaining games for us so far today. Hey, what's up, Ponyo? Thanks for the cast, getting me through a 3-hour flight across Australia. Then Wi-Fi can only handle 480p stream, but hey, can still make out the pixels. Hell yeah! Playing Wi-Fi is pretty good nowadays, man. It's pretty crazy. Like, I feel like sometimes it's like a couple of few flights I've been on with Wi-Fi, it's like a 50-50 fight whether it'll let you connect at all, but if you get connected, like, you can do stuff on that Wi-Fi, man. It's honestly very, very wild. Who knew that internet in planes was going to become such a regular occurrence? Crazy. Technology just keeps on going. Hatch, gas, and pool. Going to be without the gas. There's actually just hatch and pool here from Rogue, and now a gas coming down later, so not rushing that link speed, and that's obviously something MaxPax can take note of. Seeing the gas timing will tell him a little bit of like, okay, you know, I see where this game is going, I know when I have to be careful of link speed finishing, so you'll have a rough idea of the timing of everything here for now. Let's just see that probe continue to ping pong between a couple different mineral lines. Hee Seong, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs going out into the chat. And some wonderful people such as Jeheppers, Ben Hugo 8i, Cosmic Shocking, Scorpion456, and Varamir for skins. Thank you so much, Seong. Hoping I'm saying that right. For the 5 gifted subs, thank you for supporting the channel, the stream, the StarCraft, and the content. Appreciate it. That's our Proby. It's just been on a little bit of a mission, but it's going to just go sit and patrol now. Double Lings coming across the map on the other side. It's just going to be making a move for the moment as well. I'm the man keeping SC2 alive. Appreciate the kind words. I'm glad you're enjoying the games. Just doing what we can. Keep the streams busy. Keep the games coming. Keep the tournaments online. We'll have something coming up for next week as well, because next week I do not think has as much event, does not have as many tournaments on, so we'll try and get something sorted out for next week as well to make sure we got some consistent days of games. As that queen is going to latch itself onto the Adept, and the Adept going to take some shots, going to get pushed over to the sides. Again, Oracle coming up, just going to be getting that on the go for a couple of moments. Ling speed, couple of queens, all coming out for now. Void coming in, Warp Gate coming up. Just going to be scancing that Ling speed, the drones and the queens and the spore crawlers all coming through on the side of Rogue. So I guess getting those spores ready just in case of DTs. He has been very safe in that regard lately when we've been watching him play. Just have our Twilight Council and a few additional gates. Continue to come through here. 5 extra drones coming up, a couple of queens are on the way in. The Ling speed is still building. And yeah, just gonna see 9 more drones continuing to build right now. Queen is still on the way up, just gonna get this Void Ray. Going to be coming through and is going to be able to just latch itself onto this Overlord for a little bit. So just going to be able to go and get a kill there. It's a little supply block for Rogue at the moment. This Void Ray recall is going to find another Overlord. It's actually 2 Overlords in quick succession. There are 2 Overlords, 3 Overlords in production, but yeah, we're going to remain supply blocked for a little bit longer again as Rogue takes the chance to drop the Banelane Nest down, the Evo Chamber, spending some money on stuff that is not going to cost him supply, while the Overlords finish up and we get out of this supply block. The Resonating Glaives coming through on the side of MaxPax as well, so just bringing that online. Maybe about halfway done, just a few moments. A couple of assimilators finishing up as we speak. Nexus coming through, probes on the way, Bane Nest about to finish, the Lair is on the way, 22 more Lings and the melee upgrade coming up as well. So that Void Ray going to latch onto a hatchery here and just going to be trying to get rid of it. Cancel on the 4th would have been nice. That Void, not something you build all of the time in PvZ, but it's actually been pretty good on this one. One of the big things about going for the Void Ray is that you're going to deny information, and by denying information, now it's been difficult for Rogue to see that this is a Resonating Glaives play, so that kind of info being denied is a pretty big deal, as we are going to see Adepts shading across the map in big numbers. Now we've got a couple of Banes already. We could honestly have done with a few more already being morphing in. There's only a couple really ready to go. More start to morph now as these Adepts shade through. They shouldn't commit there because the Banes are there. I mean, you kind of need some of these Banelings to hit to soften the Adepts up so the Lings can get involved. MaxPax is dealing with a Ling counterattack on the other side though, so that is potential for him to take a bunch of damage as well. The Adept shade into the main base. Rogue is not moving his units around well at all. He really could have done with just more Banes on the defense. A few more Banes at home and I think he would have been great. He's got so much work to do to catch up for the damage done here, and more Adepts are going to warp in defensively. But killing, I mean, there's Lings on the low ground that aren't doing anything at all. And again, we're desperate for Banelings on this other side. They're just not doing anything, and Rogue is just going to fall apart. He does not have the numbers here, I think, to hang on into this. As I do think this one is going to be deciding the game pretty quickly with Adepts just doing too much damage at this point. As we continue to build Lings, they just do not trade well enough against those Adepts in the slightest. The counterattack gave you some hope as Rogue, but like I say, it just wasn't quite meant to be, as Adepts will continue to play cleanup. A couple of Banelings can't even catch up with these final couple of Adepts, which are now going to finally end up on some Queens. And MaxPax leads by 27 workers. Blink over halfway done, so the follow-up is going to be looking good, but to be honest, it may not even come down to Stalkers. There's more Lings being made. We can just keep making Adepts as long as Rogue is just building Lings. Honestly, at some point, Stalkers will be just fine as well. Take your pick, MaxPax. I don't think you can really go wrong with what you set up for here, as we just have Adepts continuing to, again, push back. Actually, going to see a couple of the Banelings in the middle here. Going to have to split against those. That does give the Lings a surround. That's kind of how this was meant to be, and yet we never really saw it, where the Banes forced the Adepts to split, some splash damage is done otherwise. Then the Lings get a surround on the split Adepts. That just never happened because there was never enough Banelings to really force that. Rogue sees that this game is going to be over, and MaxPax will get a series victory. MaxPax goes to the upper bracket round of 4, while Rogue will be slipping down to that lower bracket. Again, we'll talk a bit about Rogue might face in the